Here I'm going to go over the basics GDAB tablature. It basically just runs over what these particular chords are, the G, D, A, and B chords. We're going to go over the shapes and how to play them easily. So on my basics GDAB tab on level 1, the original line here is it's going to be just a G chord followed by a D chord, then an A chord, and a B chord. So on that G chord, the way that I will describe this is top note all the way down to the bottom string, top string to bottom string. And if you don't play it, it'll be called closed. If you do play it, I'll say which fret to place. So the G then would be a 3, 2, 0, 0, 3, 3. And 0 just means it's open, means you hold no fret. So with that being said, middle finger on top string, second string, second fret, that's an index finger, skip the next two, and then the ring and pinky are on the bottom two strings. And play it to make sure you have a good sound, and strum each one individually. And so you see on my hand, my left hand here, it's the fingers are really popped off. So I got my thumb wrapped around it, wrapped around the neck of the guitar, with my stringers really vertically popping off. So try not to lay your fingers flat on it by having your thumb either up here or too much up here. But if you get like your thumb pressed behind the neck, you can really pop your fingers off, and that lets each finger play an individual string. If your middle finger here is laying flat, it's going to muffle that second string. And similarly, if this index finger is laying flat, it'll muffle these two middle strings that should be open. So once you get it all popped up, it should sound like that, each individual string. And then the next one we go to is a D. So a D is going to be closed, closed, open, and then index on the 4th string, ring on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and your middle on the 2nd fret of the bottom string. And so individually, and together. And so when you play this, you're going to try not to play the top two strings when you're strumming. If you're starting off, that becomes difficult, but I recommend to try to, as your best, not play those top strings, because that's an E and an A. Okay, next one is an A chord. So here we have all of our frets on second, or all of our fingers on second frets. So we have open, 2 with the index, 2 with the middle, 2 with the ring, and the bottom one is open. So you're kind of making this C shape with your hand, and try and once again pop those fingers off. Don't lay them flat. And so just, yeah, you tilt your hand out, it makes it easier. So individually or together. And the last one we're using for this instruction here is B. So that's going to be a bar chord. So there's 2 ways to say your hand position for this quite easily. The first is lay your entire finger on the 2 on the 2nd fret. So the top string we're not playing, so don't worry about that. But the bottom 5 strings are all 2. But then take your ring and your pinky on the 3rd and 4th string and put those on fret 4. And then on the 5th string, your middle finger placed onto the 3rd fret. If you find it difficult to get your hand in this formation, this direction, you can try doing pinky and ring first on the 2 middle strings, 4th fret, then put the middle finger down on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then at the end lay that bar chord down with your index across all the frets. And so level 1 then would sound like this, with all notes being a whole note. We get G, D, A, and then B. So level 2 is pretty much the same as level 1, but now we're going to put a strum pattern in here. So for this, we're going to do down, down, up, down. So down, down, up, down. So back to that G chord, we get down, down, up, down, D, A, and B. And so the way I'm doing these strums here is on the down strum, I use the back of my hand, mainly these 3 fingers, and I make sure the nails hit the strings so that they sound out strongly. And then on the way up, I use the back of my thumb. And so one more time through level 2, we got So moving from level 2 to level 3, we're going to move from strumming to picking individual notes. So for level 3, we're still holding a chord. So you can start out with a G chord here. And what we're going to do is we're going to strum. And for this lesson here, we're going to use our thumb for the top 3 strings. And we're going to use the index for the 4th, the middle for the 5th, and the ring for the bottom string. And so for these plucks, you're kind of plucking upward. You're kind of going underneath the string and plucking upward very gently. Okay, so level 3, we start off with the G, and then the D, the A, and the B. So one more time, nice and slowly. So I hit that 3 there at the end. One more time. And so this particular lesson is going to shorten that transition you have between each one of your hand formations. Check back for the next lesson, which will cover levels 4 and 5 of the GDAB tutorial.